Hi, Julia here with the Maine Play Week. Today we're dropping 2 of the filmmaker interviews we did recently at the Maine International Film Festival in Waterville. You'll hear my interview with filmmaker Leighton, director of Downeast Hardcore, Stories from the Kave. The local music documentary world premiered at MIFF last month, and we published a review of it, which you can find at themaineplayweek.com. We also interviewed Matty Wishnow, the director of The Last Critic, another music-adjacent doc about rock music critic Robert Christgau. That interview starts about halfway through the episode. Okay, here's our interview with Leighton. So, introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your film.
Sure. So my name is Leighton. I'm from Maine. I live up in the Blue Hill Peninsula area. And I just completed a feature-length documentary called Downeast Hardcore, Stories from the Kave.
And you just had your premiere yesterday? Was that your...
world premiere?
World premiere yesterday. How was it?
It was excellent. We're so grateful for Maine International Film Festival. It was just perfect timing as far as one of the first festivals as part of our circuit. So we heard about this right away, and to be able to have the world premiere in Maine was essential. It would have felt weird if we had gotten accepted out of state and premiered out of state first. We had to show the film in Maine first. It's
of
a Maine
course,
film.
yeah.
It's about Maine people. And we've had such a huge turnout of what we call cave kids, people who went to the cave growing up. They've all shown up and supported the film, regardless of where they live. Southern Maine, Northern Maine, doesn't matter. They're all showing up, which is amazing.
That's amazing. So some of them showed up yesterday, and then you have your second screening today.
Yeah, which is going to be even bigger.
Oh, nice.
So we had a 9 p.m. showing last night. We had a great turnout. Maybe half the room was cave kids. The other half was paired up with North of Ordinary. So a lot of folks supporting that film.
Oh, that's great.
Which is really cool because they're very similar stories.
Yes.
And so the crowd, I think, enjoyed both films.
Right.
Because they're talking about similar things. And then today we're at the Waterville Opera House, which is an epic venue. And Kave, who the film's about, is showing up, as well as just a tremendous group of people. They're all concert promoters and concert goers, so they're used to just rallying and showing up for shows. So
that's who you need. That if you're going to make a film and you want people to show up, that's the audience that you need to make it.
Made my job
for.
So easy. Kave is a concert promoter, so half the time I would just mention something. Next thing I know, it's on Facebook and there's 60 comments.
I was going to say, she found our page on Instagram, and she's been commenting on every post.
She lifts it up. It's amazing. And she used to run old school where she had a MySpace page. She used to have a message board.
Wow.
Early internet days.
Yeah.
As well as she was really good at recruiting kids to go to the mall and hand out flyers.
Oh, see, that's marketing that actually works.
Yes.
Boots
on the ground.
The boots on the ground print marketing. I don't know if you got to see the film that showed here, Still Ohio.
No, I didn't. Yeah.
It was really good. Definitely, if you can find it out somewhere else, I hope it'll get a theatrical run here. But they were out at the bars in Waterville, literally going up to people and saying hey, come to our film.
And that's what you have to do.
That's what you have to do.
Maybe it made me a little lazy because I've had so many people lifting it up. We do a lot of online promotion, but I can only imagine, if let's say we're in Buffalo, New York, and we're premiering there, how do we get people in the seats? They know nothing about it. So I really respect that, having the tenacity to go out.
Yeah, it's not easy. No. It's definitely a, awkward, vulnerable thing to do, but, it pays off sometimes for sure. So how did you get connected to this community? And how did this film come about?
Yeah, so I grew up in the area and I heard about the venue when I was in a freshman in high school. And my cousin brought me to my first show there when I was in high school. And I was just blown away. It was the craziest thing. I lived in that area, never heard of it until there was a big infamous show where Hatebreed played there. And the venue is at max capacity. It also timed up with a Navy ship that had been docking in Bucksport.
Right.
So you had just like this huge group of people that went to this venue. So that put the place on the map. And it was on my radar because of that show. And then I went there a few times, went to a few shows. I had a lot of friends in the scene. So Kathy always did local nights or local bands that opened up. So I had a lot of friends who had played there. Flash forward to like years later, I'd moved back to Maine 2018, and I had done a documentary on candlepin bowling because I grew up as a bowler, and I realized it was special when I left New England. Nobody had ever heard of it. So I did that project, and it was a lot of fun. It was a great community of folks, but I was really burned out. I was really I had a kid. We had gone through COVID. I work a normal 9 to 5, and I just felt like, I can't do all this by myself again. And I was sitting around a campfire, and my friend Sam, who was a producer on the film, said, "Hey, you know what'd make a good documentary is the Kave." And I think I just looked at him and I cursed because I knew right away. I was like, I have to do this.
Yeah.
And we came up with the title right there of Downeast Hardcore. Right away, we're like, it's Downeast Hardcore. Sam gets a lot of credit for that. He worked in the merch part of, he traveled with some bands, did some merch and stuff. So he's very in tune with like marketing and branding, which we tried to do that very similar to like a band, right? Like how you would put together anyways, that's a different topic.
Do you have merch for the film?
We do, yeah.
Did you bring some?
We didn't have any for this because we did a pop-up shop. That was cool. A fundraiser. But we're doing some screenings, and we'll have a new pop-up shop online soon.
Nice.
But I wanted to make sure this story that I was on the same page as Kathy. This is her legacy. This is, her thing. And I want to make sure I do that justice. And I tell the story that she envisions, right? That makes a much more collaborative process going forward. But I also knew what I thought the story was about. And that was because I experienced it. I grew up in rural Maine. I was originally born in the Gardner, Augusta area and lived there. And I hated it. No, nothing bad on Gardner, but I felt the frustrations of being a teenager, not having a license, not being able to go anywhere. I was really into music, especially heavier music. And so when I talked to Kathy about it, the first thing she said to me was, I've had a lot of people express interest in this as far as a film, but they always focus on the bands that played there.
Huh.
And she's like, the story's about the kids, the Kave kids. And I think right away, I was like, yeah, you're right. But I didn't fully understand. I was a bit naive maybe, because once I started doing the project, I had 90 people reach out via Google Forms with testimonials.
Wow.
Of just like, Kathy changed my life. I don't think I've ever met anybody personally that's had that profound of an effect. And when I started sitting down and talking with people, including some of my friends, people I was friends with in high school and stuff, sat down and gave me interviews, and like we were both crying. Like,
oh my God.
I'd never really experienced that as a director, like the emotional impact. And I realized like it lined up exactly kind of with my personal experience. And so there's a ton of archival footage in the film. And a good portion of it is actually mine. As a teenager,
really?
I was a filmmaker, so I always had a DV camera, and I filmed parties, I filmed school, I filmed after school. And so when it came time for that part of the film talking about being an angsty teenager in rural Maine, I literally had that footage. So there's shots of me in the movie at 16, being all moody. And you'll see it, you'll be like, oh wow, yeah, he's just super moody there. So that I think was cool because that gave me some ownership, right? I don't consider myself a Kave kid. I mean, Kathy would call me one now, but I understood where a lot of those kids came from, not just from the music, but the upbringing. And that helped me have that ownership over the story, because I don't know if I would feel authentic enough if I was just straight up a filmmaker telling someone else's story without any personal connection. That's just me personally, I think.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize like how personal the story was for you.
I don't think I did either until I started doing it. And it was like, oh, this is where it's at.
Yeah. That's amazing. So in the film, it's revealed that Kathy has this cancer diagnosis. And then everybody is helping out. And I guess like, how did she recover?
Kathy was diagnosed with a very aggressive form of cancer. And in the film, she mentions that they give her 17% chance to live.
Yeah, that's crazy.
She had to have like a bone marrow transplant or a stem cell transplant, sorry. And it saved her life. But the sad thing is that her immune system is compromised. She has to be careful around groups of people. And that was her life, right? In a room full of 300 people,
right?
Several times a week. When Kathy went through her spell with cancer, the community rallied like immediately. Like, I think one thing that probably surprises people about the hardcore music scene is how quickly they will rally around a fundraiser. Somebody's going through a tough time. There's a show. There's a benefit show, and it happened during the making of the film. We actually, our graphic designer who did the logo design passed away from cancer, and he was my age.
Wow.
And they right away they had a whole festival, Ryan Eyestone. They did Eyestone Fest, and just raised money while he was battling it. And unfortunately, he passed away. But that was a no-brainer. And I think when they had a huge benefit with Kathy in the film, we have a picture of like the bracelets. They raised a ton of money for her, but it took away the thing that she loved the most. And I think once the physical space was gone, maybe Kathy was really able to see the impact that, you're in it. So you're just seeing kids and you're doing these shows. And then when that's gone and people are expressing how important it was to them, I think she maybe also started to understand, the matriarchal power that she has. And I still don't even think she really understands it until she sees it. She hasn't seen the film yet.
Oh, wow.
She's going to see it tonight for the first time.
Oh my gosh.
Which is amazing that she agreed to that. Which I really respect.
That's
There's
amazing.
A lot of trust.
And she's able, given her immune system, she'll be here.
So you'll see in the film, she's wearing a mask.
Yeah, right.
And at first, we filmed, I was wearing masks when we were filming.
Yeah.
And there was only a handful of us there. We filmed in the winter and, it's like flu season. I think COVID was going around. So, we had to be very cautious. And Kathy was like, this mask is just a part of who I am now.
Yeah.
And so I felt nervous about introducing that in the film very early on without saying anything.
Yeah.
But then, of course, Kathy in her style doesn't just have like a medical mask. It's like a black lacy gothic mask. Yeah. So you just assume.
It looks great.
Yeah. You're like, this is her style, dude. Yeah. She's got gloves on. So we pulled it off somehow. I feel like it works. But she's in a much better spot. She can go to shows occasionally. She wears a mask when she goes out. She has to kind of pace herself. So it's not taken away entirely. And unfortunately, we always get, is the Kave ever going to reopen? It won't. Mm-hmm. It's just, there's just too much there. But I think the level of ownership that she gave kids, they've really taken that and they've run with it. So they're doing their own shows, they're booking their own things. And so that community is still very much there.
That's really great.
Yeah.
What is it about like the genre of hardcore music? Like what is it about the culture that surrounds that genre that lends itself to like a very community oriented culture? Like why, apart from like any other music genre, like country or like hip hop or pop or something,
Yeah, I think it's
just, it's so, is it because it's like outwardly scary? So maybe people feel the need to be extra like welcoming?
Yeah, it's funny because they probably, they would all tell you, oh, we don't care if you don't care about us. Like we'll shut the door on you. Like it's, but as soon as you start judging, that's when they'll close the door in your face, right? Like it's judgment free. Don't be an asshole, right? That's like rule number one.
Yeah.
But be who you are. And a big part of this project was not only to do justice to their story and to tell it in a way that satisfied them, right? They're nostalgic and we want to relive those days. But I also wanted to make that film apply to a different audience, right? Which is random people in Waterville are going to come in and watch it, who don't listen to the music, who probably write it off on face value as like, this is just angry music. So the film addresses that. And that's, that was a balancing act. But I think if somebody gives us the benefit of the doubt and they come and they watch it, they'll see the power of it. And I think with the hardcore community, it comes down to people that they came from a place where you feel very frustrated and angry and you don't know why. Because you're young, right? So your hormones are pumping and that's causing a lot of the feelings, but you probably didn't have the best upbringing. You didn't have the best parental figure, or, maybe you didn't have a lot of friends at that point in time. And so when you all get together and you kind of realize like, oh, we feel the same way about this. Maybe we haven't been able to vocalize it or identify it, on paper. But when someone's up on stage and they're singing these lyrics that I connect with, and I think that's the other element of hardcore music is the hardcore shows are intimate. They're in a small venue. People are on stage, pigpiling the singer, singing together. There's no,
it's very physical.
It's so physical. It has to be intimate. As soon as you're in a stadium and you're far away, you lose the effect. And, people want their chance to grab the mic to say the line that meant so much to them. And there's a song in the film by Cruel Hand, which is a Maine hardcore band, Chris Linkovich and Seeker Daly. These guys are awesome. They're probably like the main hardcore band. And there's a lyric in that song that says, listen to a song a million times looking for a reason to stay alive. And that, for me, was the essence of what I was trying to capture in the film. And I feel like everybody has felt that, not with hardcore music, but with a song where you're like, that's everything. That's how I feel.
Yes.
So when you're an angsty teenager and you don't know why you feel the way you feel, but you hear the song, and I think that's the unifying factor in the music scene.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, there's songs that I hear now where I'm like, wow, that takes me back to when I was 15 and just dealing with all sorts of silly problems that seemed so big back then. And then, it's music. All kinds of music is just
it transcends.
It transcends.
Yeah.
Totally.
And I think nowadays, right, like if you grew up in the 50s, you were very limited in the music you had to identify with. But nowadays, whatever flavor you
can listen to anything and everything. Yep. Yeah. So at the end of the film, there's a pretty extensive in memoriam section. And I was just sort of like, oh, wow. And so I was wondering, what's the story behind, those folks who you chose, and how did you choose to sort of include those folks and commemorate them?
Yeah, I think right away, Kathy was like, I want to honor these people. And I thought about it for a while, maybe a part in the film where we were talking about it actively. But, the reality is like you create a scene like that and you're trying to help these kids succeed in life, and you're not gonna bat 1,000, right? You're gonna give it your best shot. Not everybody's gonna make it, and it's really tough. And just remembering that people still come from that space, it's very easy for us to get together and be like, oh man, that was awesome. I'm so glad we had that, and that's great. But also to remember that there's still an ongoing battle there. For me as a filmmaker, it made a lot of sense to sum it up at the end and just have that moment, especially when we lost Ryan. And he's the first one that we shot out in the in memoriam section, because it happened during the making of the film. And he passed away from a cancer very similar to what Kathy had. So it's just, we felt that. But the other determining factor was that when I started working on the project, the amount of people, they're like, oh man, my son used to go here all the time. And if you go on our Facebook page, you'll see, I put up a post who brought you your first Kave show? And everyone is tagging somebody who passed away. Nick Alley, they're all like, Nick brought me to my first show, and that is, it's important to honor that legacy, I think. There's also DJ Stewart, we shut out in the film at the end, and he passed away. He had been battling an illness his whole life. And he has a tremendous group of friends that are Kave kids, but he played at the Kave all the time, despite his battles or whatever. He would have his own he would play an acoustic set before like a hardcore beatdown set.
Wow.
And they were tolerant of that because they respected that person.
Right.
So it was almost like what do you call it? There was no other option. We had to do that. I think Kathy was very adamant, like, we have to shout these people out. So I respected that. And I think it's effective at the end to just say, it's like, not everything is sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's still very much real. It's still, I think for me too, I want people to watch this film and just think like, what can I do? Or how can I maybe treat people a little bit different? And the same goes for me. When I have a tendency to talk to kids and I'm probably a little condescending or talking down and trying to teach them, right? Like, no, I just need to listen to them and give them space. And so I think when you see the loss in that community, you're also reminded there's still a lot of work to do, right?
Yeah.
Like what Kathy did is important, but the battle's far from over,
Yeah. Yeah. It's only like one piece of the puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
So these are 3 questions that we've been asking everybody. So the first one is, do you have a favorite theatrical experience that you remember, an experience of seeing a movie in theaters?
Yeah, I have a few. This one's more recent, so top of mind. I saw Interstellar in IMAX at the Chinese Theater.
Oh, nice.
And I've seen that movie like a dozen times.
Yeah.
It was a different movie. It changed. I just didn't, because we live in rural Maine, I don't get to see movies in IMAX very often. So that was really cool. That reminded me the power of cinema, in terms of, the gravity of it and how powerful, like immersive it can be.
Yeah.
So that was very special.
Are you going to see the Odyssey?
I'm working on it. I got a group of friends. We're called Movie Dads. And we
Dads. I love that.
Of course, we can only get together like once every 6 months.
Yeah.
So we try to pick it. And now we're talking like a trip to Southern Maine or something.
That's right. Yeah.
So yeah, that's high on the radar. Lord of the Rings. Fellowship of the Ring.
So good.
Changed everything.
Did you see it in theaters?
Yeah.
Nice.
When it came out, like the day of.
Whoa.
And I was a younger kid.
Yeah.
I always played Dungeons and Dragons, and so I was into the fantasy world of things.
Totally.
And I remember seeing that movie, and then when it ended, I hadn't read the books yet. I was aware of it, but I hadn't read the books, so I was too young. When it ended, I was like, "What do you mean? There's more?" And I was so hungry for that.
Yeah.
So that was super cool.
Ugh, I mean, so good. Yeah. Such a good trilogy. The next question is, if you could force everyone in the world to watch one film, what would it be? And it can't be your film.
Yeah, no.
different film.
This is almost like my Letterboxd top 4.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to do one narrative and one documentary.
Okay.
I think. Okay. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Romeo and Juliet.
The Baz Luhrmann one?
Yeah.
So good.
That movie,
so good.
It's so crazy. That movie changed my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
It got me into theater. It also like taught me the power of like a director's vision.
Yeah.
Right? Like this guy just took this thing and made it something else entirely, and it's so epic.
I feel like it was one of the first films that I saw that like was really like played with that kind of like reimagining things in a very like
total artistic freedom.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just sort of like, wait, you can do that?
And it has all of it, like the production design, the songs, the soundtrack, the clothing. It has Leo, right? So like we're all like young kids, and Leo looks awesome in it. Claire Danes, I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, Claire Danes, Leo.
But I feel like most people have probably seen that movie. So, but if not, you got to check it out. The other, I would say, this is a recent one, Secret Mall Apartment.
Oh, I did not see that. I did not see it when it was in theaters, but it had its kind of like theatrical moment.
It did.
Like,
I think it's on Netflix now.
Yeah.
But it got a lot of like viral press.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
It got a lot of buzz.
I had already made my film when I saw it, but it would have absolutely been an influence. It's about being an artist in the early 2000s. It's about the fine line between, how much do you pursue the life of being an artist? At what cost? Ooh, right? Like, is it something you do in the evenings, or is it something that is continuous every single moment of your life? And it all features like 2000s DV tape archival footage, which has a similar aesthetic to my film. So it's an amazing watch. It's so much fun. It's funny. It's sad. It's like, it has mystique, and it also like surprises you at every turn. So highly recommend.
Yeah, I really need to watch that. There's so many films that, come and go to movie theaters, and I'm like, oh, damn it. Like,
and it's like, they're gone, right? It's
they're
like,
gone.
like a 2-week
it's like,
window.
no,
happens to me
back.
all the time. Like, so for me, because I have a daughter who's 5, it's really hard to get to the movies.
Yeah.
It's like a full date night when you babysitter, probably an overnight, especially if it's a late night showing.
Yeah.
So,
especially if you're like driving, because where's your nearest theater?
So we have the Alamo in Bucksport.
Okay, yeah.
But they're a little more delayed in like new releases.
Right.
It's usually a month out. Otherwise we go to Bangor, which is an hour away.
Right.
So I am a big proponent of renting movies from the library. And so I just like, I don't get to the theater as much as I should, but I watch a lot of movies.
That's good.
And I watch them on physical media.
That's right. That
cool.
Hell yeah, physical media. Hell yeah. We moved recently. Finally went to the library, got a library card. But the first movie that I borrowed from the library was Sideways, which I had never seen before.
Yeah.
So we like threw that on, got a bottle of wine.
It's so funny because that movie, it's always been at my library, and that's how I watched it. I feel like that's like the quintessential library
That's like a
movie.
Library movie. It's
got the green casing,
yes,
right?
The green. Yes, exactly.
So it's eye-catching too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. I guess every library is
Paul
just sort
Giamatti,
of like,
right?
everybody loves Paul Giamatti.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's such like a 90s film too. If you watch it, it's like stuck in time.
Yes. Yeah. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I feel like now we have to talk about physical media. I recently got a Blu-ray player, and so I've been like building my collection. I just got in Waterville at the Bull Moose. I just got There Will Be Blood.
Okay, that's in my top 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's in. Okay, what are your Letterboxd top 4?
Yes, I finally got it. Happy Gilmore.
Classic.
Perfect example of 3-act structure and script writing. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think that movie is very easily to write off as being just like, immature and funny. It's actually brilliant in terms of, writing a script. There Will Be Blood. That, again, artistic vision of just like, Paul Thomas Anderson writing that script, researching everything about oil drilling, all of that stuff is just amazing. Romeo and Juliet. And then probably The Shining.
Yeah.
Because horror movies are really like how I started getting into cinema and a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
So, but really almost any Stanley Kubrick movie. Barry Lyndon's very close. Have you ever seen Barry Lyndon?
I've never seen Barry Lyndon. It's huge blind spot for me.
And I feel like its prime demographic is middle-aged men.
Yeah.
But that movie is amazing. I love it. The score, every shot is a painting. So really, I would say The Shining, but you could pick and choose any Kubrick movie.
Nice. Oh, I love it. There's so many movies. I love movies. Ugh. Okay, last question. What are your opinions about movie theater popcorn? How do you like it? Do you get it? What size do you get?
So
Toppings?
I have a food sensitivity to corn.
Oh.
Which sounds so lame when I say that. Like, it gives me a bellyache, which is all it does. But if I have my choice, it's kettle corn. If I was to eat popcorn, it was usually in small amounts and plain, like a loser.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a big butter fan.
Oh, okay.
My wife is like, she has like a Polish upbringing, and she's just like, butter.
Yeah.
So she's always horrified when I decline the butter. But if I had a choice, it'd probably be kettle corn. Oh, if I could buy popcorn and bring it in, it would be Irby. You ever had that? It's big up in the Blue Hill Peninsula.
Oh, like the little lads?
Little lads.
Popcorn?
We call it Irby.
Yeah.
That was always my jam.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Well, I'm so sorry for your corn insensitivity.
And corn's in everything. It's in everything.
That's so true. Have you seen the documentary King Corn?
No.
By Maine filmmaker.
Is it a horror movie?
No. By Maine filmmaker Ian Chaney. It's a documentary about how corn is in everything.
I need to watch.
It's really good.
Yeah. And I believe it.
Anyway, on that note, we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That was awesome.
Downeast Hardcore is showing at Gino's Rock Club in Portland on August 8th. with a Q&A and an after party with local Maine hardcore bands. You can find more showtimes at thekavefilm.com. And that's Kave with a K, not a C. thekavefilm.com. Next up is an interview with Matty Wishnow, the director of The Last Critic, a documentary about Robert Christgau, a pioneer of music criticism. The self-proclaimed Dean of American Rock Critics was known for his 18,000 capsule reviews at the Village Voice and still writes today at age 84. You can learn more about the film at thelastcriticfilm.com.
Obviously, I have to ask.
Yes.
Have you? I don't think you've seen my movie.
I have
yet.
not yet.
Okay.
I have not. I will. We'll be seeing it
Shortly after.
Shortly
okay.
after.
And if for whatever reason, I was going to say, if you were not able, I'm thrilled that you're seeing
Yes.
it. But if you weren't able to, I would get you a screener.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
But yeah, I hope you're able to see it.
I think actually it was the first ticket that I reserved.
Oh, good.
When I knew I got. Because I mean, it's like so. I am super like aware of Robert Christgau, and also, am I pronouncing his name correctly?
Yeah.
Christgau. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Christgau.
I've always just seen it written, never actually pronounced. I'm like, but always like really appreciated his perspective. Kind of for you, like I read a little bit. Well, first of all, I should say I read a little bit of the piece that you wrote on your blog, the Post Prime.
Oh, sweet.
And it was that like discovery at Tower Records of the book. And
Yeah.
also, did you grow up in the tri-state area?
I did.
Nice. Whereabouts?
I did between New York and New Jersey.
Oh, nice. I grew up in Morris County.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So, because I saw WPLJ, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh wait, I haven't thought about PLJ in a minute. But yeah, so that was your first connection. Have you been like following his work like ever since you were a kid?
Yes. I mean, basically since I discovered him, which was originally through the guides, the books, not through his Village Voice column, even though I lived in proximity to the Voice. So it was through the books. And then I started reading him in the Voice, and specifically the consumer guides. I mean, Bob's written a lot of long form stuff, but I was really looking for someone to help me decode this, what seemed like an infinite world of music. And I was not like I was a fan. I was a devotee, but I wasn't like a crazy super fan.
Yes.
And I'd learned over the years that Bob has many of those. He probably has more super haters than super fans.
I can see that.
But I was, he was extremely illuminating and useful and fun and really funny. And I just loved reading him. And I'd never, I'm not a filmmaker by trade. Yeah. So it wasn't as though I had tucked away this idea of making a movie about Bob Christgau. It was really through my day job as an entrepreneur that I came to it, because I was writing a book. Basically, the book is called Listening for Growth.
Yeah.
And the sort of metaphorical device I was using was like listening as a faculty for both empathy, and also for entrepreneurial empathy, but also for businesses' capacity to take in signals, data. And while I was writing this chapter, this one particular chapter, I began researching who were like history's great listeners. And for whatever reason, it didn't occur to me immediately that I should think about Bob. I was thinking about more like audiologists and sound engineers.
Yeah, more the physical sound kind of thing, yeah.
And then I woke up one morning and I was like, the world's greatest listener might be Bob.
Yeah.
Might be Christgau, who's listened to more music than anyone to ever walk the face of the earth.
Yeah.
And that got things into motion where I was so interested in the story and the questions that I approached to, proper documentary filmmaker friends. And through happenstance, one of them interned for Bob in the 90s as a record filer.
Interesting.
A job that I think many people over the years, many NYU students and aspiring rock critics have had.
Yeah.
But more importantly, that person, Paul Lovelace, who's the editor and co-producer on the film, he'd made a college thesis film about Bob.
Oh, wow.
So we had about 50 or 60 hours of archival footage, which for a subject like Bob, who is renowned but not famous, archival footage is really at a premium.
Yeah.
Because it's not like he's been on TV, it's like he hasn't been.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of photo or video of him. So once like the idea connected with a few of us, and then we realized through serendipity that we had aligned interests and all this archival footage, that really set everything into motion.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so you had all that archival footage, which, I mean, seeing like some of the, like the poster I know is like an older photo of him. And it's like, the only photos you really ever see of him are when he started to kind of do more panels and stuff, like after he left Village Voice. So that's kind of cool. That's a very unique and kind of happenstancey kind of thing.
Well, it's so, it's so critical. I was recently just finished up the Scorsese doc on Apple, Mr. Scorsese. And I'd also, I think I'd recently watched the McCartney doc about about sort of the making of his first records at post Beatles. And those documentaries are so mesmerizing. The story, the narrative is great. And the talking head commentary is great, but really it's mesmerizing because the archival footage is so compelling.
Yeah.
You just want to look at these people kind of in context at a different time.
Yeah.
And when your movie is limited, Bob was not filmed every day of his life. Bob was rarely filmed.
Yeah.
He kind of avoided celebrity, if anything. That sets into motion a set of decisions you have to make, which is, well, what type of movie is this going to be, where it's ostensibly about a man in his 80s, like a Lion in Winter or a Master in Sunset, as I like to say.
Yeah.
But you have to decide how much of the biography you want to and are able to tell. And because of the lack of archival footage, it made a very easy decision for me.
Yeah.
Which was, this was not going to be like a Wikipedia biography.
Yeah.
This was not going to go all the way back. This was going to start at a certain point, but really focus on what we could get, contemporaneous.
Yeah. So what was the experience of like convincing him to do this movie? To be like, to not only just be like, oh, we're going to talk about your history a little bit, but really it's going to be about you now, for a guy that wants to shy away from celebrity.
Well, to his significant credit, he didn't ask like what the story was I wanted to tell.
Nice. Okay.
He did ask why I wanted to make a documentary about him.
Yeah.
And I did from the outset say, I want this to be like a Master in Sunset doc. I want this to be a movie about you in your 80s with your wife, Carola, with all of the wisdom and sort of intelligence that you have sort of cultivated.
Yeah.
But obviously with more physical limitations. Like you're healthy, but you're not running around the world.
Yeah.
You're not going into an office every day. Like your world is smaller now. It's slower.
Yeah.
But, I like to joke about Bob. Anytime you ask Bob a question, the answer is no, like the first 9 times.
Yeah.
And then if you redirect the question and, pose it properly to Carola and you get a yes from Carola, then Bob immediately says yes. So I had to get through a bunch of, raised eyebrows and maybe some resistance from Bob, but not, he's a prickly guy.
Yeah.
Lovable and charming, but prickly.
Yeah.
There's a line in the movie that Greg Tate says, which I love, which he says, Bob can be warm, but never fuzzy. I think I don't think that's totally true, but I think it's kind of a good description.
It's like he's primarily like receptive, but not overly receptive.
He's loving, but he's not gonna, unless it's his wife or daughter, he's not gonna show you that love with a hug.
Exactly.
To show that's not his love language.
Fair.
His love language is arguing, but but Bob's legacy was important to Carola, and once I sort of framed it for Carola and saw that she was interested, Bob was like a pushover, and he was great. And he's a great subject, I think, for 2 reasons. One is, although he's like an elite writer and maybe an even greater editor, he did not insert himself into the movie or edit at all.
Oh, that's perfect. That's ideal.
Ideal.
Yeah.
And then the second thing I would say is, he has almost no vanity, which doesn't mean he has no ego.
Yeah.
But like the person he is on screen is exactly the person he is off screen. So once the camera's on, it's like nothing changes. It's just him. And, and that is incredible. And, I like to say, like, people assume Bob is pretentious. And it is true that he can be arrogant and he's very cerebral.
Yeah.
But he almost is like devoid of pretense. Like he really just is who he is. There is no artifice to it. He's like, he's not, there's no air about him. This is just who he is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Ooh. So how long, so it took a while for him to kind of finally warm up to the idea, but finally when he did, how long were you like installed with him?
Yeah. Well, I should say it didn't take him that long. It took him basically like one dinner of cajoling with Carola, me cajoling Carola, and then Carola making it clear to Bob that she was behind this.
Yes.
We had been shooting on and off, but mostly on for about 2.5 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then for that last 6 months through March, so basically March of 2025 through South by Southwest, we're deep into the edit.
Yeah.
But also still occasionally reshooting or shooting stuff.
Interesting. Okay.
And then I will say, even after South by Southwest and a few other film festivals, we went back into the edit.
Yeah.
And we cut about 2.5 minutes and replaced it with a different 2.5 minutes.
Okay.
Because, we didn't know what our festival life would be. And South by came upon us quickly. And the cut we had done, we loved.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as though when we submitted it, I was like, this is the final cut.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's the thing with like festivals. It's like you refine it. You show it at a festival and you usually refine it before you bring it out to more spots.
And you get feedback.
Exactly.
So that's been going to festivals, one benefit is you get to watch it with audiences. And it's wonderful.
Yeah.
But the other benefit is that the audiences give you feedback.
Yeah.
So the version we have now, like pencils down, it is really final cut now.
Yes. Yeah. That's awesome. So also, I saw in the movie you've got a bunch of like amazing people that you are interviewing throughout it. Like you got the wonderful Randy Newman, you got Boots Riley. Like, how did you make those connections? So were they ones that already existed in your life?
Oh goodness, no, I didn't. I didn't know anyone who's in the movie. So, But here's the thing I will say: this is an incredible testament to Bob. So me, unknown first-time director, just like through his own Gmail and through either internet sleuthing or friends of friends of friends of friends, put a list together of people I wanted to interview. I emailed all of them. Everyone said yes.
Oh, wow.
I mean, people's loyalty to Bob runs very deep, especially people that were edited by him.
Yeah.
But even people who, I think Thurston Moore is maybe the best example, but there are a number of people in the movie who are like ambivalent about Bob.
Yeah.
But they still were like, yes, tell me where and when.
Yeah.
Because people love Bob is a character.
Yeah.
His writing is provocative and he sort of elicits reactions from people. But I would say first and foremost, people have great affection and loyalty to him, especially people who have some, relationship with the Village Voice.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of people.
A lot of people, yeah.
So we, going through our list, there was no one we couldn't get. We did want to interview David Johansen, who was ill and has since passed, which was sad. We really wanted to interview Questlove, who's a big Christgau file, but he's also probably the busiest person like in America.
Yeah.
Maybe not, but close.
Close to it. Yeah.
And the only other person I wanted to interview, but I just could not get was Billy Joel.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Also older, busier man.
and also maybe does not have the same affection for Bob.
Yeah.
That like Thurston Moore, Thurston has great affection and admiration for Bob in spite of the fact that they disagreed violently.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like the Siskel and Ebert of it all. It's like you still have respect for one another at the end of the day. It's like you can vehemently disagree and hate that other person's opinion. It's like it's kind of an appreciation for art.
Well, and I will say, I think that for someone who is not tech savvy, Bob is extremely online.
Yes.
And I don't mean the actual Robert Christgau. I mean his bylines. His website is like,
oh my God,
dumb brilliant.
It's like so simple, but you can find everything so easily.
It is the most indexable music website out there.
Yep.
So Google loves it. Also, Wikipedia loves it. It's
Mhm.
like footnoted everywhere.
Yep.
And I say that because, all you have to do is like search his name and you'll find that people have big feelings about him.
Yeah.
Like people who maybe even didn't read him in print have big feelings about him. He really forces you to consider why you do or don't like something. So yeah, I would say, he has people that love him.
Mhm.
He has people that hate him, but even in that subset of people that hate him, you'll find a big cohort of people that are like, I hate him, but I also respect the man for, the bravery of this opinion or the insight of this one thing. Or the incisiveness or hilarity of a review. He has people that just outright can't stand him.
Yeah.
But even those people, it's like people don't feel that way about other critics.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like I feel like the modern example would be like your Anthony Fantano with the Needle Drop, where it's like I feel people have very strong opinions about him. They're now I feel like their tide is turning where at least people are respect. Like it's like okay, I don't agree, but
yes,
yeah.
Well, and it has come up. I don't know. It was sort of in the news recently that Fantano basically in response to the Halsey sort of scuttlebutt said, I don't have to defend myself. Basically, I'm the most important music critic of my generation, or any generation.
Oh yeah.
And that sent sort of the internet into a bit of like
it's like a wait a minute.
And Bob's name, in addition to the documentary, Bob's name was sort of kicked back up into the air because of that commentary, which I loved. And I think I'm pretty sure Bob is either unaware of it or doesn't care about it.
Yeah.
But I love that people are having this conversation.
I think it's great. It's just fun and
it is.
You kind of need that. You kind of need that.
Well, I think it's also forced people to ask questions, which is like, what is the value of a critic? What is the job of a critic? What is great criticism? These are all things we're toiling with in the documentary. And I think Bob invented a form. He invented a role, and thousands, tens of thousands of other, maybe hundreds of thousands of other writers or content creators. In the case of like Anthony, they not only like exist in that wake, but they also prove a point that I believe, which is that even if this wasn't a job, which increasingly, by the way, it's not a job.
It's not a job. Yeah.
But people still do it.
Yeah.
People can't not make their arguments for something for their music.
Yeah.
It's like within us.
Yeah.
No,
it's true. I mean, it's kind of interesting because the job of it is dying, but the art of it is not, because like I feel like more and more people are doing like they're on Discogs, they're doing their own stuff through that, or they're just talking about online, they're doing YouTube, TikTok stuff, and it's like,
or just like Instagram Reel, like it's like
just like talking about it, and it's like they can't really get paid for it anymore, but people are still gonna do it all the time.
Yeah,
they want to talk about that. They want to talk about what they love about art, what they don't understand about the art. And it's like kind of fun.
And for better and for worse, it still gets reactions. It still gets clicks and likes and comments and, all of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I got to ask, why did you choose to do a documentary for this? So, because you said you were writing the book right beforehand.
Yeah.
Why not do like a long form, like nonfiction book about him?
Well, I just written a book, a nonfiction book. And I was also, for fun, on the side, writing a lot about my other passions, like music and baseball. And when I'd been watching a lot of documentaries unrelated to all of this.
Yeah.
And a bunch of the ones I liked the most were about, older artists or older intellectuals. I'd watched one about Joan Didion. I watched the Robert Gottlieb, Robert Caro one. I watched one about the product designer Dieter Rams. And I did not come to this idea thinking that I would direct a movie.
Yeah.
I came to it thinking like, oh, Christgau needs a proper documentary.
Yeah.
He's in his 80s. He's done something that no one else will ever do again.
Yeah.
That no one did before.
Yeah.
This story should be told. So I approached my friend Ben, who's the cinematographer and co-producer on the movie. And then Ben connected me with Paul. And the more we talked about it, the more I articulated both what I thought the story was, but also like what I thought it would look like.
Yeah.
They were like, well, Matty, you should direct this. I said, well, I don't know how to operate camera. I'm not a director. And they sort of, at the risk of oversimplifying it, they said, if you can think about narrative and like the 2 dimensions of the movie, then we can work together on the 3rd dimension.
Yeah.
I would say like what looks flat on the frame and what is told or what we hear, I felt very confident with. How a camera moves through space, I did not feel confident with. But luckily for me, both Ben and Paul, but particularly Ben, they're photographers also.
Yeah. So that's a good team to have with that. And so,
yeah, I was very lucky.
That's really cool. Yeah. So with making a documentary, having this documentary be your first film that you make, did you draw on like your past as like an entrepreneur or through your writing? Like, what do you think influenced you the most in like the storytelling of it all?
Well, I think the writing. I mean, I have a pretty whether I don't have a knack necessarily, but I have a strong sense for I think like what makes a good story. What is too much, what is too little, where you need tension, where you don't. I'm a pretty good self-editor also because all the writing I've ever done, I've had to self-edit and I've had to like be, brutal with myself about what stays and what goes.
Yeah.
But I would say maybe more so than that, I had a good sense for like what the aesthetic visual universe is. I wanted everything to look naturalistic. I wanted people to look their age. I wanted it to feel slow. I wanted it to be a bit of a hang. Also, another thing is I didn't want to license content that wasn't native to Bob's world. Like it would have been very easy for me to like, not easy, it would have been expensive, but easy for me to like license video of the Ramones or video of, England in the 70s or, the Lower East Side in the late 60s. But if we didn't have the footage or if it didn't exist, I didn't want it. I wanted everything to look like it looks in Bob's world.
Yeah.
Including like the books, the records, the paper, how we did animation was really important to me. So we used stop motion graphics in a lot of cases. And when we used digital, I wanted it to look digital the way Bob's like computer screen is digital, which is to say like very outdated.
Yeah.
So I had like all of this in mind from the get-go.
Wow. That's fascinating. Also, it's very brave to like incorporate all the different styles. That's really cool though, to have that for this doc. I mean,
yeah. I mean, and that is maybe where my career, my real job as an entrepreneur came in handy, which is, a movie is a startup.
Yeah.
And like most startups, most movies fail.
Yeah.
And you still have to like brave the conditions and the circumstances towards your goal, regardless. And you have to do it as intelligently and thoughtfully and kindly as possible. But I mean, there's, like most businesses, most documentaries don't even make it to the screen.
Yeah. Exactly. Especially docs. Docs are just tough nowadays. But I love them as an art form. It's some of my favorites.
Bless you.
Well, so I actually kind of speaking of that, and you mentioned earlier about your love of baseball.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're aware of the former writer, now pretty much video journalist, John Boyce. Have you ever heard of him?
I don't.
He does like amazing, more data-driven kind of pieces. but he has a 2-part series called The Bob Emergency, which is all about the lack of bobs in sports and specifically baseball.
Oh my God.
And how it's just been dying off. But
did he do the Dave Stieb thing also?
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I've seen his. He's amazing.
It's amazing.
He's amazing.
It's wild.
Yeah.
But for some reason, as I was reading everything, I'm like, I feel like you enjoy that. But do you find that this is just more of like an esoteric kind of question, but I feel like music and baseball inextricably linked.
Yeah.
Really. What do you think drives you more, music or baseball?
I mean, baseball. Sorry, I'm going to take that over. Yeah. Music drives me more.
Yeah.
I would say that I was probably at my peak more obsessional about baseball.
Yeah.
Baseball runs really deep in my veins, but like music, music maybe gets to the heart faster.
That's fair. Yeah.
But also the thing about the Chris Gow analog that I make often in baseball is the writer Bill James, the statistician Bill James. Yeah. Bob's a Bill James admirer. I suspect Bill James is at least aware of Bob. I would like to think that he's an admirer, but they both do something similar, which is they both sort of use a high degree of rigor to sort of unpack something that feels boundless, like hard to objectively measure.
Yeah.
Bob isn't trying to measure the worth of music the way Bill James is trying to evaluate a player's value or a team's value. But Bob is a little bit inspired by that thinking.
Yeah.
And certainly for me, when I was an adolescent, it provided a similar function, which is like, what's good? What's not good? What should I be paying attention to? What should I not be paying attention to? So those two are kind of always inextricably linked in my mind because I discovered them both around the same time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Do you, also with baseball, do you keep score?
I used to. I mean, I used to be like a real stat head.
Oh, nice.
I'm a bit of a math wonk, but I have to confess, like, the stats have gotten a little bit away from me. Like,
oh God, I can't tell you what WAR means. It's like, I know what it means, but I like how to quantify it and like how that can affect anything. I'm like,
well, like the early Bill James stuff, mostly like runs created. Yeah. And like, well, I mean, WAR and VORP are both like proprietary, so you never really know. Like, I understand them enough to be dangerous, but then I also understand them enough to know that, like, to whatever extent there is subjectivity in those things, it can throw things off wildly.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of, even Bill James has given like a lot of great examples of how like slight assumptions can sort of dramatically throw off things.
Oh, yeah.
I think Bob is, in a weird way, more like bloodless in how he measures things.
Okay.
He's like, this is a C because I say it's a C. That's it.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't care whether you agree or disagree.
But
like,
I'm just saying it is. Yeah.
This is a C for me.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people misunderstand that. I think a lot of people think what he's saying is, this should be a C record for everyone.
Yeah.
I think people think of it the way, stat heads and sabermetricians think about WAR or VORP. Bob thinks of it more as, he likes to describe himself as the expert witness.
Yeah.
He's like, no, this is me. I have paid witness to this album. This is my distillation and evaluation. Now I'm moving on.
Yeah.
Like take it, and now you move on too.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you can form your own opinion about it. And like, this is just my opinion on this.
Oh, absolutely.
Interesting. Well, couple of quick rapid fire questions before I let you go. Yes. Just because we always like to talk about movies and movie theaters and the theater going experience.
Yes.
First question is, what is your favorite movie going experience that you've ever had?
I should have come prepared for this.
I
would say I'm a man of a certain age. So I would say Pulp Fiction and Boogie Nights. Those are two like rollicking, haven't seen anything like this in my life before. I want to say this just because I know that some of his films are showing here. Mm-hmm. When I saw Todd Haynes' Safe in the theater the first time, I like almost couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
Like that was, I I wasn't present, although I was alive, I wasn't present in the 70s for a lot of movies where things were done for the first time on film.
Yeah.
So I have no frame of reference for that. I had studied enough film that when I saw like Safe, I knew that it was both like a giant movie and also like very specific, small and particular in a way that I'd never seen. And I found that like really haunting.
Yeah.
Also that movie.
Totally.
I say that just because I know, again, his movies are, and I think Christine Vachon, he's worked with a lot, is also here.
Yeah, she's getting her award tomorrow, I believe. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's very exciting.
Yeah.
But I would say the ones that I'm just like, this is a theater going experience unlike any other, probably Pulp Fiction and Boogie Nights.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
Opinions on popcorn.
Yes.
Important. Gotta have it when you watch a movie.
I love popcorn. Obviously, the biggest problem for me is I eat too much of it.
Yep, fair.
I like a little butter, like a little salt. I don't like it over buttered.
Yep.
And this will be controversial. Not only do I not like cheese on popcorn, but I really don't like cheese, period.
Okay, fair.
So I'm not a big cheese popcorn guy.
That's honestly very fair. I only will occasionally like smart food style popcorn, but like, no, it's just butter. That's all I need on it. Do you put anything else in there? Or just,
Nope.
That's fair. I'm the same way. I'm the same way. And finally, if you had to have everybody in the world see one movie, it could be your favorite movie, or it could just be like, I think this is the most impactful movie that I think everybody should see.
Yeah.
What would that movie be? It's a tough one.
Yeah, let me think for just a second. You know, I have 3 children. I have twin teen daughters. And I will say seeing Barbie with them multiple times was very meaningful. I love Barbie. It's not my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah. But that came out like when they must have been 11?
Yeah, 11 or 12. Yeah.
So it's like perfect time for a movie like that.
And I loved that people from every walk of life, for good reasons and maybe not good reasons, went and saw it. The fact, it was a $1 billion movie is mind-boggling.
Yeah.
And that makes me really happy. I just feel like she tucked in a lot into something that could have gone horribly wrong.
Yeah.
I'm really happy that movie exists. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, Matty, thank you so much for sitting down.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Great.
The Maine Pod Week is hosted by Nate Stevenson and Julia Dunleavy, and edited and produced by Nate Stevenson. Social media video is produced by Nick Brown, and music is created by Peter Coleman. The podcast is a project of the Maine Play Week, a new media publication covering the moviegoing experience here in Maine. You can support our coverage financially by becoming a paid subscriber to our Substack at themaineplayweek.substack.com/subscribe. Send your ideas, questions, or other musings to hello@themaineplayweek.com, and follow us at The Maine Play Week on Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky, and Substack. Learn more at themaineplayweek.com. But most importantly, tell your movie-loving friends that we're here, and we'll see you at the cinema.